She stuck a lipstick in her boob and it fell out of her pussy.
Jason is my son, and today is his birthday. You can have dinner with us. My brother makes good head cheese. Candyman, I get cheese. Candyman, Candyman. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hello and welcome to Two Guys, One Necronomicon, a weekly horror review podcast where we talk about all things horror. We talk about your cult classics to your modern day trash. And today we're reviewing an incredible movie, Night of the Demons.
Yeah, quotation marks on the incredible movie.
No, it's fantastic. But first, if you haven't already, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Guys, One Necro. Follow us on Twitter at Two Guys, One Necronomicon. Follow us on Spotify. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts. That would help a lot.
Really would. We need those ratings on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, so just throw us 5-star ratings.
Yeah, 5 stars.
Ratings for the podcast help Apple push us out to other people to allow them to see us more. So it definitely helps. And it doesn't have to be a good rating. We just need the 5 stars and then make it funny and I'll read it.
Yeah.
That works.
We are not movie scholars. We are not film critics. We are your final bros. And in the red corner, hailing from Bergen County, New Jersey, and weighing in at 135 pounds, he was rated the top cartwheeler in New Jersey, Brian Hotboy LaGrasta. And in the blue corner, hailing from Bergen County, New Jersey, and weighing in at 375 pounds, 175 of which is pure COVID weight. He hates bugs. He sucks jugs. Shane, I'm on a diet. A serving of ass, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Smith!
That's a new one.
Why?
Half of what you said was untrue. The other half of what you said was also untrue.
Well, since we got this new studio going, I got to up the ante on your nicknames. I got to get better and better with each episode.
Yeah, for those of you listening, we have finally left Brian's bedroom and we've moved into a studio in Brian's brother's house, which is much nicer than the room we were in.
Yeah, it's not as hot.
It's cooler. It's definitely cooler.
The temperature is better and more regulated. It's like 69 in here, where it's
nice.
as opposed to 80, 85.
And I will be the final girl moving forward for this podcast.
Jen is now a part of the team.
Yes, she will be on each and every episode we do.
It's exciting. And especially, this is a perfect time, Jen, because we are in the middle of spooky season. This is our second episode of spooky season. Going to be a fun one. Not saying it's a good movie. You'll see our review. You'll see our review at the end, but definitely a fun one.
I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It's definitely not a good movie, but to an extent, it has some enjoyable moments. But I wouldn't pay to watch this.
No, and it's a remake.
It is a remake.
It is.
The original was 88?
Something like that.
87.
Gotcha.
There. I will throw it out there right now. Probably a top 5 movie we've talked about on the podcast.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
This is, serving of ass. Here we go.
It's one of the best.
Okay.
Top 5 movie that we wanted to talk about, or top 5 movie
that we've reviewed now.
Entertainment, or like Jen said, just good?
Oh, probably good. I'm gonna go with good. What have we talked about? The Lighthouse,
Cabin in the Woods.
You're putting this movie next to Cabin in the Woods?
He's out of his mind.
No, I'm not. Rating wise, it's not as good. Entertainment
like I said, it's enjoyable. Well, it wasn't enjoyable. Apparently, people didn't think it was good enough to even get paid for the most part to see it in theaters. It went straight to DVD when it was released. It never even thought about going anywhere else.
That's a real shame.
That's when we first watched it. We watched it on DVD when it came out. And I think it was released in 2009. And then I think for some reason, I know some sites have it as 2011. I think it was released first in 2009. But
there are 3 different dates listed online for this movie. I wrote Night of the Demons 2009, 10, 11, pick one.
It just keeps going up.
You know what it is? The movie was so good, they just kept re-releasing it each and every year because they knew a lot of people would watch it.
Or no one noticed, and they had to keep releasing it hoping someone would notice eventually.
They'll get a hit eventually if they just keep putting it out every year.
People have to realize it had Edward Furlong in the comeback movie for his career.
Yeah, well, I remember from American History X, and then there's just a long pause. He does like Attack on Darfur with Billy Zane, and then he does like this. I have no idea what else he's done.
Some would say this is actually his best performance in a movie.
I think you're actually out of your mind, and I'm going to kick you out of the studio if you keep up that talk.
There's a window. Please take flight.
Good thing we're on the first floor.
Yeah, we're going to fall in that dirt hole at Damien.
So I think now that mentioning someone who had been in another movie, it's a good time to bring up, how do I say her name? Diora Baird. Diora Baird, who plays Lily in this movie. She was a victim of Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. And sorry if I'm saying any names wrong. Monica Keena, who plays Maddie, was in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yes, she was the main character in that movie, which is also a very good movie.
Yeah, that's fun.
Excited to watch that in the future, but I think we should jump into the spooky pit.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay. Well, without further ado, let's jump right into the spooky pit.
Friends arrive at a Halloween party in an infamous New Orleans mansion, only to experience a night plagued by demons. And this movie has a star-studded cast.
Yeah. We already talked about most of them.
And they're all... I can't say they're all hot. All of them are hot.
No. They are all hot.
Don't even do this.
They're all hot.
They're not grotesque.
Don't even...
I know who you're saying isn't, and I feel like you're being very unfair to him.
Oh my God.
Just the way they set him up.
So terrible. This movie stars Shannon Elizabeth as Angela.
Dib.
Diora Baird as Lily.
Dib.
Monica Keena as Maddie.
Dib.
Bobby Sue Luther as Suzanne. Dib.
Dib.
Michael Copan as Dex. Dib. John F. Beach as Jason. And Edward Furlong as Colin.
Dib.
You can have him.
You can have all of them, Shane. I'm good.
Let's go.
You seem to be real into them, so I won't block you.
Thank you.
He's really into this movie, and it's kind of creepy because this movie's not great.
It's the tits.
I've never had so much fun watching a movie.
It is full of passion and tits.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
and it has
saying.
a good story. It has great acting. There's barely any plot holes.
Oh,
so Shane's being the funny one this episode. Okay.
Yeah, he took my role. Because Shane is not funny.
Well,
Oh, dear.
No, in all seriousness, there's a lot of plot holes and things like that. But like from start to finish, I enjoyed every second of this movie. And at the end of the day, isn't that what you want from a movie?
Yeah, definitely got an enjoyment factor. But there's just super cringy moments.
Oh, there is.
And
we'll talk about them.
A lot of them have to do with Edward Furlong.
Wait, right. So this is going to be a little repetitive. I'm the worst at names. You're going to have to remind me who everyone is. Like, I know you just told me who Edward Furlong was in the movie. I don't remember.
Colin?
He's Colin. He's the drug dealer.
Oh, was that his name?
Well, that's his actual name. Yeah, his name in the movie
No, I didn't know his name was Colin.
Yeah.
He's like the drug dealer who can't wait to kill himself.
He just is so sad the whole movie.
He just complains the whole movie.
Oh, man, no. This can't be happening.
Fuck, dude, shit. Oh, dude, fuck.
He's just like gotten himself into such bad situations and doesn't know how to get himself out and digs himself deeper. And that's literally the definition of his character.
All right, let's do this.
Let's go. Start us off, Brad.
Yeah, the movie opens up at the Broussard family mansion in 1925 New Orleans. This is in the past. Scenes are filmed in a sepia old film style for this part of the movie, and the audience kind of gets quick shots. You see demons, like a party or something, in the mansion. And a lady's like running up the stairs onto a balcony, and she starts tying a rope around her neck, and she ties it to the ledge. She stands on the ledge, and her husband's there. He tries to interrupt her, and it's cool because it's in like a silent film style. So like when he starts to speak, it like cuts
to the words,
to the text, like silent films used to do it.
I think we assume they're lovers, but I don't recall the word husband being in there.
Oh, you're right. They're not husband.
No, okay.
Right.
So from what I gathered, because they do go through the story a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
she was in love with him. So
Correct.
she wanted to do like love spells to have him fall in love with her. And that's when things kind of go south.
We'll see later in a cutback, he comes to that party with another woman. Like, he's with someone else. So she's so desperate for his love. That's ultimately why she invites them.
Yeah, so it's not her husband. It's someone that she likes.
Regardless, it doesn't really matter because she hangs herself in this scene, but doesn't hang. Her head falls off.
Yeah, she does a sick jump, and I don't know if that rope is
It's sharp rope.
It's laced with knives.
That can't be. Yeah, seriously, that can't be like a rope from Home Depot.
You're saying Home Depot doesn't have sharp rope?
No.
Okay.
That's not.
You're saying Home Depot existed in that time?
I'm hoping. People need to furnish their house. They need to go to Home Depot.
We're going to go on record and saying in 1925, Home Depot existed.
Should I look that up?
No, we're just right.
Yeah, so that rope snaps and she's decapitated.
Yeah. So now we cut to 85 years later, which is the present day. And we see, I believe it's Angela sending out invites to a party.
Yeah, she's typing up invitations for her Halloween party at the Broussard Mansion, the same mansion we just saw in the past.
And I think she mentions that like she's doing this because she needs to make money. Like this is like her last chance.
Yeah,
to
she
like
basically has to tell her cat that this is her last chance. She needs money, and her cat's gonna give her advice.
Yeah, Angela is the one who is being played by Shannon Elizabeth, who was in such stellar movies as 13 Ghosts,
American Pie.
Ooh,
I like 13 Ghosts.
Was that an ooh of excitement, Jen? Because that movie's trash.
yeah.
I love 13 Ghosts.
I don't notice when people are in movies that I've seen before, and I, for some reason, remember 13 Ghosts very distinctly.
Shane loves it.
I love that movie. She's the daughter in that movie.
I enjoyed that movie actually. Like I didn't think it was a good movie, but I very much enjoyed the movie. But we're not talking about that movie.
No, we are not. We will review that movie at some point, though.
Yes.
So now you see Lily. Before you saw a cat, and now you see a girl dressed as a cat.
Correct.
But
You mean a pussy?
Yeah, exactly. She's like a sexy cat.
She is a sexy cat. This is true.
And then you see her friend Maddie, and it's Halloween. And Maddie's dressed up as a normal girl with a couple of scrapes and bruises.
She's dressed as me in a lazy Halloween costume. Like, I'm not even going to knock her for this because you know that when you're going to a party in college or something and you really don't want to put a lot of effort in, you're like, all right, I'll wear the clothes that I wore that got ripped the other night. This is fine. Throw some blood on it.
It seems like something that Jim from The Office would have did during one of the Halloween episodes where he just comes in and he just has a different name tag on.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'll never know that sensation because I go all out on Halloween.
I know. Last Halloween, we both went all out.
Yeah.
I was a butterfly.
And I was a ladybug. And Sauce McGavin was a bee.
Yeah.
A little bumblebee.
I've had the habit of going as like 90s characters, like cartoon characters, the past couple years.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like Tommy Pickles.
I was Tracy from Timmy Turner one year, Tracy
okay.
Tang, and I did Doug, Quail Man, one year.
Quail Man.
Okay.
Wow, that's a throwback.
I know. I do have a photo of it, so maybe I'll post it as like a second photo or something, just as a couple references to the episode. But
Awesome.
I'll think about it. We'll see. Just wait.
So Lily and Maddie, they have a little exchange here. Maddie's helping putting her whiskers on her costume, which is basically just like makeup. And they call each other whore, slut, Jezebel, tart.
You know, like all girls talk to each other.
Exactly. And now their friend Suzanne shows up. And to their surprise, she's also dressed up as a cat.
All right. And let's just get it out there right now. Her costume is the most revealing Halloween costume of all time.
Yeah, like if you didn't think Lily's was revealing enough, Suzanne's like double downs on it because everything but her nipples are showing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like she could be trying harder.
And her tits are, I don't want to be perverted, but they're nice.
They're bowling balls.
Yeah, you see them a lot.
They don't go away.
No.
She's going to sit down on the couch here, and she's going to announce her displeasure and her chafing situation with her new Brazilian wax, which is pivotal to the story. I'm just kidding.
Not Suzanne, the other one.
No, Suzanne's got the chafing situation.
Yeah. And then I think it's Maddie who says she doesn't shave at all.
No, Maddie's the one that doesn't shave. Yeah, she's like all natural.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the audience discovers here that Suzanne went to Clean Cheeks, which is the original, but she should have went to the Honey Pot because they do it better.
All interesting names.
Just want to build up what you're getting from this movie. This is the dialogue that we're getting here.
Yeah, no, it's up there with any like Stanley Kubrick movie or like Christopher Nolan movie.
Yep. And then, I don't know, there's some stupid dialogue here. She's like, now I understand why you guys went as pussies for Halloween. And in sync, they're both like, pussy cats. I don't know. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say about the dialogue there. So let's cut to the next scene where we see some trick-or-treaters going to... This scene, I have a question.
Okay.
Why does it exist?
I don't know. You like the movie, Shane. You want to tell me?
I could like a movie and question a scene because these two trick-or-treaters go to this older woman's house. No, was she maybe in the original?
Oh, maybe.
Do you want that fact?
Yes, I do.
I'm pretty sure this is I'm not positive that this is the exact scene. I think this is Linnea Quigley, who played Suzanne in the 1988 Night of the Demons.
That's cool.
She makes an appearance and she's wearing the same ballerina costume shot from the same angle that she was in her first scene in the original film.
That's super cool. It's a shame I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Because this whole scene is then she goes to give the kids candy, but she bends over and you just see up her skirt.
Oh, it's so creepy. But like what I'm saying is like maybe I give them like a little nod that they would actually do something creative like that.
I respect it.
But like the movie's so bad, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree. I care a lot, so.
I haven't seen the original in a really long time, but I'll give them a nod just for the fact that they kept so much to the original movie and the fact that the names of the characters are pretty much the same. They put someone from the original in there with a lot of nods to the original. And as we'll find later, the way the demons look later, Brian earlier described them, a couple of them to me as zombie-like looking, but I feel like it's a good nod to how like 80s and 70s demons looked. Like I feel like they did a good job referencing back to that.
They look really good.
The makeup and the costume design is one of the few good things about this movie.
Yeah.
We're not looking at that yet. We're looking at pansies.
So Jason and Dex are kind of standing on top of a balcony and kind of like taking in the scene of New Orleans. Because I feel like New Orleans is just full of houses with balconies that people just party on. And they see the trick-or-treaters like on the road. Apparently, there's like smoke and pot, and they witness this older trick-or-treater stealing candy from the other kids. So Jason rips out a paintball gun and just starts lighting this kid up.
Yeah, he hits him once and the kid goes down. So then the smaller kids go and take the candy back and then beat the kid. And then Jason goes downstairs and repeatedly shoots him. And I love the scene. Because this is what should happen.
He literally goes point blank and just shoots this like 16-year-old kid in the back.
Fuck that kid.
Yeah, but like after like the first like two shots, I was like, he deserved that. And then when he kept going, I was like, do you have any idea how terrible like a paintball gun shot is like from a foot away?
Yeah.
That like, oh my God. He's
no protection.
Not to mention, it's technically child abuse.
Dude, the kid's 16. Even if he's an older trick-or-treater, he just went up to him and shot him with a paintball gun.
I mean, he deserved it for stealing the kid's candy point blank the first couple times. And after that, it was like, well, this is a little bit of overkill, but...
Yeah, it got a little excessive.
This guy thinks he's Greg Hastings from Greg Hastings Paintball.
What a game. So then we cut back to the girls driving to the party, and they discuss how Angela has a tendency to go after the guys that they are talking to or with.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. So Suzanne has got like a kind of like a relationship with Angela. She's known her for a long time. And they got to be friends working at Taco Bell. And they used to sneak out. Angela would tell her stories of the mansion. So they used to sneak out and go over there. But like you just said, she'll go after all your guys to kind of keep them close with Lily, who has this weird relationship with Dex, and Maddie with Colin, who's Edward Furlong.
Who we are going to see right now, because we cut to Colin and he's heading into a bar.
Oh, fuck, man, dude, fuck, shit.
In all seriousness, that is most of his dialogue in this movie. Fuck shit, aw man.
He has to give himself a pep talk. He has to like pep himself up before he goes into this nightclub.
Well, it makes sense though, because as soon as he gets upstairs, he has a gun pointed to his head.
I don't understand the point of this whole scene. I understand the point where like he's a drug dealer and like, well, first off, he gets encountered with the person pointing a gun to his head. She's like a full-blown like Russian like assassin type person, like a total badass. And I'm like, I'm confused why she's here. I get the point of the scene a little bit, but I feel like it's very
I actually
weird
hate
to
this
me.
scene. I hate this scene. It's dumb. He goes to talk to the guy Nigel, and
that-
the whole time Nigel is just getting a blowjob while they're talking.
And Nigel, who's supposed to be like this cutthroat gangster, is kind of like in a good mood by their standards.
Yeah,
That's what's told to Colin before he sees him. He's not really in a good mood.
he's not. But yeah, he talks to Nigel about the drug trade of New Orleans and how he can't charge as much as Nigel wants him. And Nigel basically berates him about, do you know what supply and demand is? We're in like New Orleans, Katrina, all that stuff. There's a demand. You should be able to charge for this much.
Exactly. Colin's giving him these excuses.
Yeah.
And the girl actually giving him the BJ is like, are you done? But Nigel ain't done yet. You're going to find out he ain't done for a long time. Because Nigel's a champion.
Yeah, no, he's got stamina.
He tells Colin, listen, I'm going to give you one more chance. And not just a chance to work for me. One more chance to work, eat, to fuck, to do anything. I think he's going to kill him if he messes this one up.
Yeah, that's what's alluded here.
I'd say that's a good guess.
Colin says he could sell it at this party. And obviously the party he's referring to is Angela's party. Nigel says he wants double the amount of money now. He doesn't want like what he was originally owed. He wants double. Then we cut to the girls arriving at the party.
And this party's in full swing.
Yeah, because we open with just a montage of things happening at this party. And by things, I mean people making out and people drinking.
That's true. They're making out on the couches. Some people are already passed out. Like, what time is it? People are already done.
We have a Jigsaw appearance, just riding around on his bicycle, trying to get people to play games with him.
Yeah, Billy, right? Riding the bike. That was pretty cool. And Colin shows up now, and he walks up to the lady stamping everybody in, because this party's legit. You got to pay, and you got to get stamped in. And they're not letting him in.
No. So he tries to bribe his way in, and he starts with Mr.
Thomas Jefferson,
yes,
right?
he starts with Jefferson. But to get into this party, he's going to need a Mr. Franklin.
And only that costume will get him in the party. But you got to pull out that hundo, and he gets himself in.
Jason and Dex run into, which one of the girls do they run into?
Lily
at the bar.
first.
And there's like a little bit of like an awkward, I guess, interaction with Dex because, you know, they have like this weird connection.
Yeah.
Did we already say like it's kind of implied that these are ex-boyfriends? Who was with Dex again?
Yeah, Lily. Was Lily and Dex ex or no?
Yes, Lily and Dex
Lily and
had
Dex.
a thing. I don't know if they were dating, but they definitely had a thing together.
Who's
Maddie
the
and
other one?
Colin were definitely exes. Maddie and Colin definitely were dating.
Yeah, that I know.
Well, who's the guy that Dex is with though?
Yeah, Jason. He has nothing to do with them. He's just a friend.
I thought they referenced him being an ex as well. I couldn't tell.
I don't think he's any
No.
correlation with them.
It was really hard to tell. The only two that I could tell that had like some chemistry were Dex and Lily. And then Colin and Maddie, they said that once, and then I couldn't tell whatsoever.
No, they
that.
definitely were dating because I think they even referenced, like, how did you date Colin? Like, there's no redeeming qualities about Colin.
Yeah, I think what Jen's saying, though, is like the chemistry is just not there.
Oh, I don't know about that. There's some scenes later on where they really, like, fight the demons and get along together.
She asks him if he's okay. He's like, nope. And then that's that.
That's chemistry.
Sure.
Jason's like, basically tells Lily, you know, you look nice. She's like, oh, I just found this, you know, this old costume just hanging around. And while she's saying this, she like adjusts her outfits to prevent her boobs from falling out.
The most cliche answer of all time. Oh, it was just like, you know, laying around on my bed, you know, whatever.
Crazy night, though. It's going to be a crazy night. I'll tell you why, because she actually just did go to the bar. They asked her, like, what she's drinking. She's like, I'll have whatever that is. The guy's like, this is Kosar Gold Skull. And she's like, get me those. Just going to rock it out tonight.
Sure, whatever he's having, I'll take it.
I think this is also when Maddie and Suzanne now notice that both Dex and Colin are at this party. They notice Dex talking to Lily, and they just see Colin selling drugs in the corner.
It's so subtle. And Maddie's like, what is this, Night of the Exes?
This is actually when they discuss, Maddie and Suzanne discuss why she was ever with Colin. She likes a good fix-me-up.
Yeah, well, because she likes the guys that need to be codependent. She wants to kind of like make them better.
She wants to be mama.
They want to be needed.
Something else, he can fuck.
Oh, I forgot. That's kind of gross to think about.
He's got to be on the bottom, right? Like him on the top.
Are you saying Colin's a bottom?
Total power bottom?
Okay.
We'll go with that.
I don't even know why I made a note of this, but as they're walking through this party, a man has a giant penis.
Wait, I missed that.
There's a guy in the background who's wearing a penis costume.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I do remember that. I didn't pay attention to it. I was like, yep, that's fitting. Keep going.
I saw it and I was like, I have to mention this because it's
That's so
just
funny.
there.
Yeah, I think Maddie like walks into a room, right? And she sees two people making out. I think she thinks one of them is Colin from the back of his head.
Yeah.
And then she walks out. She's like, oh, happy to know it's not Colin. Sorry. And she like awkwardly walks away and smiles.
Oh, because they like turn around because she's just staring at them. Like she's like, oh, I long for that. I'll watch you. And they turn around. They're like, the fuck?
Is this where she goes into the bathroom?
Yeah.
So that's where Maddie then goes into the bathroom and she's like looking at herself in the mirror, opens the mirror, and they're doing the whole, oh, she's going to close in, something's going to be behind her. But this movie is a little bit too smart for that.
It's a little too savvy, right?
So they close the mirror and nothing's there. And you're like, see, it was the fall scare. But then a hand reaches out of the mirror.
Cracks through the mirror.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's a good scare.
And she runs away and right into the bosoms of Suzanne. She's like, Suzanne, Angela set something up in the bathroom, and they go to show Suzanne, but the mirror, of course, is no longer broken. And she's like, it's just a trick. She's like, let's go. They walk away. There's not even a crack on the mirror.
No, the mirror is completely fixed. Like the whole time, you're not even looking at the mirror. You're just looking at Suzanne. It's crazy. I'm going to keep bringing it up.
It is something to marvel.
Oh, her bowling balls?
Yeah.
Great bowler.
She's bowled the
She
300
won-
before.
She won awards for them.
She bowled 300 twice, once for each pair.
So now let's get into the meat of this party because the lights go out And they come back on, and Angela is at the top of the stairs. And she honestly gives one of the best speeches I've ever seen. Because she talks about this has to be a night of debauchery.
Yeah, a night of absolute mayhem because they're paying honor to Evangeline Broussard. She's like, you guys want to know why no one's been able to live here in the past 50 years? And then she goes into the story of Evangeline Broussard. She invited her man, as we established, it wasn't her husband. It was a guy that she liked. Some friends over for dinner on Halloween night. And they were never heard from again. Angela mentions that she wants everybody to honor her by debauchery, like Shane said. 3 things: dancing, drinking, and fucking. The music picks up, and there's a circle pit? There's moshing, right?
Yeah.
There is
like,
now.
This is insane. And then Maddie spots Colin making very unconcealed drug deals in the corner. But then she just starts pounding a few back with Jason. Lily and Dex get into a room. They waste no time, start hooking up. And then Dex is going down south for an ass grab.
Yeah, he is.
Is doing anything for you?
Not yet.
No, it's just drunken love. Like it's not much. We don't even think that like he is interested in her then. He's just like, all right, I'm at a party, I'll hook up with her.
Definitely somebody should.
Don't we assume at this point someone tells Angela about Colin? Because that scene comes up right after that.
It comes up soon. It don't even happens yet. It literally
Not
happens
yet?
very soon though, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, actually you're right, Jen. It actually happens now. Because Angela spots Colin. now.
Okay.
Like right now.
Okay. So Angela's very upset. She doesn't want him there.
No, she doesn't. And she walks up to the lady at the front, stamping at the entrance of the house. She's like, why did you let Colin in? And she acts dumb, like she never let him in.
Because every time Colin shows up to the party and is selling drugs, it somehow gets shut down.
And it's not like he's like a good drug dealer. He's just doing it in the corner in plain view.
And with all that said, the cops show up and the party gets shut down. Like instantly.
They break it up.
Yeah, they come in, they say, party's over. You see Diana, who is the girl at the front, stole the lockbox full of Angela's money.
And she desperately needs that cash. Colin ditches the drugs and is it a vent?
Yeah, he throws it in an event.
As everybody's leaving the house because there's like a mad dash. The police are kind of circumventing everybody out through the front door.
Maddie and Jason are looking for Lily and Dex. They find them, and it looks like they kind of like they're fixing their clothes and stuff like that. So clearly they were getting down to business when they ran into them and the party got shut down.
They were just trying on costumes.
Okay,
It was very innocent and was very PG. And then the cops find Angela, although she says that she rented the mansion out. And she's like, oh, but Diana even stole all the fees. She's like, I got nothing and got that fine. Colin stays in the house the whole time and actually meets up with Angela once the cops leave.
And this is because Colin asks Angela, does this vent go to the basement? Because he needs to find his drugs or, oh shit, fuck man, I'm going to get killed.
The group then walks back in, like the entire group of friends that we discussed.
Yeah, because they lost Suzanne.
How can you lose those beautiful, beautiful eyes?
Yeah, great whiskers.
Colin walks back to Angela asking for help. He's like, look, I need your help to find the basement. I have no idea where I'm going. And Angela then agrees, leads him to the basement. Suzanne walks in from a side room and she
said she passed out behind the DJ or some shit. I don't even remember.
She passed out somewhere and they were just like, well, I guess we'll leave.
I mean, she was doing a lot of dancing though. She was feeling it.
Yeah, she's a good dancer.
Great dancer. Great at a lot. Great. Colin and Angela walk through the basement. It's covered in cobwebs. And I think she mentions this is like used during Prohibition. There's like a lot of side tunnels. He spots what appears to be a door. It's behind some shelves and they kick it open and they discover a bunch of bodies in the room. And these are not like bodies. These are like corpses is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they're skeletons. They say that like these might be the skeletons from that 1925 massacre, right? I think they even reference that.
Yeah.
Good news though for Colin. He finds his drugs. And then Angela sees one of the corpses with like a gold tooth.
She's loving it too. She absolutely is thrilled that they found bodies.
I'm just going to throw it out there. Is she getting off to the idea of these bodies that she's found?
I'm not going to say that Angela gets off. I'm going to say Shannon Elizabeth gets off because I feel like this is the kind of character Shannon Elizabeth was born to play.
Yeah.
Because she always kind of fits the same style in literally all of her movies.
Yeah, she's good in all of them.
That's a flex. So she goes in, right, to the skeleton with the gold tooth. It bites her and she jumps back.
Yeah, and I think one of the guys said, oh, it's just a reflex. And I'm like, that's if a body's like recently gone. I don't think like 85-year-old corpses have reflexes anymore.
Decrepit skeletons.
Yeah.
I'm sure after they've decayed after a certain point, it won't bite you.
No, I think Colin walks back, tells him the gate is locked.
Yes.
Asks if Angela has a set of keys. She tells him checking her bag upstairs. Everybody now walks out, and Angela appears to be shaken by this bite wound. She's in a bad place.
Yeah.
Kind of dizzy.
It's kind of like spinning for her almost. They go back inside, obviously, and now they're just drinking because they accept that they can't leave because there's no keys or anything. I think it's Susie says the bodies in the basement have to do with like black magic, right? And this is where they describe like, what was the girl's name? Evangeline?
Yeah, Evangeline. Suzanne goes into the whole background. Yeah.
And it's like we described. So Evangeline, she loved a man who didn't love her. So she practiced all these different kinds of black magic. And she thought that the spirits she was talking to were going to help her, but they were actually demons that were trying to come back into their world. She was essentially tricked by these demons.
Yeah, these demons were banished from hell for not obeying Satan. And then they were just kind of in limbo for a while. In her quest of practicing black magic and trying to perform love spells, the demons contacted her and were like, oh, if you invite all these people over, we can make him fall in love with you. So she agrees to the seance. I'm guessing about like 6 people over because like later in the movie they mentioned they need 7 people.
Correct. I think she invited 6.
Yeah, including like the guy's lover. Of course, he comes with his girlfriend, wife, whatever she is. We don't mention it. We don't care.
Exactly. And I think they mentioned the 6 people are never found again. Angeline's found dead, and the maid who was there lost her mind. And they know that because she, I guess, was like making spells and carvings on the wall.
Yeah.
She went insane.
She basically retreated to her room, apparently, while whatever was going on in Evangeline's house was happening. And she started writing on the wall all these like spells and stuff. She's the one who, when the police eventually come to find Evangeline's decapitated head on the stairs, she's the one that suggests the idea of demons. So that's where that legend kind of resurfaced to the outside world.
Any significance behind 7? I mean, I didn't find any. I know we were talking about
I think it was just the amount of demons that like got sent out of hell. I don't think there's like a.
I just feel like that's a cheap thing.
I mean,
cheap story, right?
You just gotta pick a number, I guess.
Okay.
I'm Googling that right now.
What I want to say is,
Let me hear it.
she couldn't get her man Louis Despero, so she started being desperate into these love spells, and she became kind of fluent in voodoo, magic, witchcraft, and hoodoo. What do you know about hoodoo?
Well,
What do you
nothing.
do?
Nothing. I have absolutely nothing. Do you know anything?
No. I know there's a difference between voodoo and hoodoo. It's like a slight difference.
I think it like hoodoo is like people who listen to the Who a lot and
Yeah.
also do voodoo.
That's right. Okay, I forgot. Now you just clarified that for me.
Or it might be people who watch a lot of Doctor Who,
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah,
Yes.
if you got it up.
because I think I was wrong.
It is a type of voodoo or witchcraft, bewitched or voodoo or witchcraft. I'm pretty sure it's nearly the same thing. And it says 7 is the number of completeness and perfection, both physical and spiritual. It derives much of its meaning from being tied directly to God's creation of all things. So
7
I'm going to
days.
say
Yeah.
that this is the demon's way of mocking God in a way as well, because I remember in other movies, and just like ghost hunting in general, they'll say that demons will like knock on doors and stuff 3 times as a sign of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yeah, and they'll do things 3 times as like mocking God. So I'm going to say that the whole number 7 thing was also kind of on the same
That
level
makes sense.
as mocking God.
I know, just like from reading, because I have read the Old and the New Testaments, and Jesus would like in the New Testament just casting out demons, and they were very mocking, obviously.
Yeah. All I've learned right now is that this movie is even smarter than I thought it was. And I actually might upgrade my rating
Jen,
of this
you
movie.
just justified what he's trying to say.
Well, like I said at the beginning, it wasn't like they didn't do a terrible job. The cinematography of this movie isn't bad. Like it's shot very well. The
Yeah.
acting is subpar, but not all the acting. Like it's not like the best acting. And there's some scenes where I'll point them out when we get to them.
Yeah.
But cinematically, it's a decent movie. And as we've just shown, they've done some of their research and paid tribute as the remake to the original. They've paid tribute to it in some ways.
Yeah, which is good. I see. I'm glad you guys are starting to agree with me.
I'm not.
I'm not
But-
agreeing with you.
She's just pointing it out.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into this coming up scene. Angela, her eyes start to turn yellow.
She's
as
shaking,
She looks,
dude.
and she's shaking. But I don't
Gone
care
to the
about that
bathroom
scene.
yet?
Yeah, because that's where she sees like her hand turn into a demon hand, and then it shakes again, right? And it goes back to normal hand.
And then she shakes her head really fast too.
Yeah,
right?
and she does a quick head shake. Now I'm skipping over all of this really fast because now let's play spin the bottle. Because we got to get to the
You
scene.
just skipped an entire
Well,
scene.
Yeah, I mean, did you just want to say that the demon's basically possessing her in this scene?
Yeah, it's not important.
Shane-
What is important is the spin the bottle scene.
important. No, it is important because without that, we don't have the next scene. Like if the demon was just like, "Oh, cool, I'm in a girl's body. All right, bye, have fun." Movie's done. Like what?
Fucking Shane.
Okay. I'll let you guys describe it, and then we can jump into the spin the bottle scene.
Well, now it's like we can't explain it.
It's basically just a really quick scene of her just trying to shake off what she's feeling, but then you quickly see like her face morph and her hands morph, symbolizing, hello, demon in the house, what's up, bruh? But then she just goes back to normal, and he's like, all right, cool, feel myself, I'm a girl now, all right, let's get to everyone else. Who else is here? How many? What's going on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, perfect, let's go. Okay, spin the bottle. There, done.
There we go. Okay, so spin the bottle. They're all playing. I think is it Suzanne or Maddie who spins it the first one?
Maddie spins it.
Yes. And Maddie has to make out with Suzanne. And this is our first passion bump of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
It's
so sexy.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't just do a quick kiss.
It's passionate.
This is a passionate kiss. This is literally the definition of a passion bump.
What do you think, Jen?
I would give this a passion bump. Like, they're willing, they're down, get it.
Passion bump! Passion bump! Passion bump!
My G.
So that was awesome.
This is one of my favorite scenes because it's kind of recurring because he's a fucking total buzzkill.
Yeah.
Colin's like, you know what sucks, man? There's a dead body downstairs, and you guys are playing spin the bottle. And then Colin is actually talked into playing spin the bottle and sits down.
Everyone just looks at him like a dead body. Like, dude, there's 6 down there. What?
Oh my god.
Angela actually is the one that tells him to sit down. She's like, come on, join in. Because the demon is like, all right, I'm ready to get this party started. We have enough people. We are good to go. But I need everyone to participate.
You combo like Angela, who likes to steal boyfriends or exes, and the
Mhm.
demon who's just trying to get his boys and girls out to play.
And the demon doesn't care if you're a boy or a girl, because who spins the bottle next?
Jason is the next person to spin the bottle. Shane, that like lesbian scene right there. Boner check?
We're good.
We're good, okay.
We're
We're
good.
good, John.
So the next scene, it's Jason spinning the bottle.
Jason spins the bottle.
Sadly for him, lands on Dex. And they are not happy about this.
And they actually try to play the loophole
yeah.
that it shouldn't count because it's fine for girls to kiss because they're girls, but it's not cool if the guys kiss, which really is a bad play of the rules.
Yes, I don't like that they're trying to make these loopholes. Man
They
up.
get called out, though,
They do, and I like that.
Rightfully so.
by the demon.
By the demon.
See, I wanted to passion bump this because I'm all about being fair, but the kiss sucks.
It was a peck.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
disappointing. But the funny part is, the one girl says, congratulations on officially being gay. And I thought that was a kind of funny throwaway line.
Was that also the demon?
Yes, I think it was.
That demon's like, we need everyone here to be willing. Because the demon, as Angela literally calls them, don't be homophobic.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true. So now it's Dex's turn, and he spins it and gets on Angela. And now Angela ain't even waiting. She straddles him.
She crawling up to him, and straddle's a good word. She jumps on his lap and just starts making out with him again, kind of passionately in a way.
Yeah, that's why this is my second passion bump of this movie. And I'll tell you what, spoiler, I have 4 more. Passion bump! Passion bump! Passion bump!
My G.
But yeah, it's great. I love this scene. It's passionate. Mike G would be rock solid right now.
He just is rock solid now in general.
You know who isn't rock solid in this scene? Lily.
No, she is very upset.
She's pissed.
She pulls Angela off of him.
Yeah, and she pulls Dex out of the room right away. This is what I like this movie in terms of it being a good movie. Dex is looking really sick right away from making out with Angela.
Didn't take long.
No. So this is where you're starting to realize this demon is being transmitted through kisses,
Through any kind of
bodily
Fluid?
bodily function, yeah. Through this movie, and as we're about to see, this demon can basically transmit through like kissing, through sex, and I guess like it has to be like kissing on the mouth or like actually having sex, because we see like a lot of times throughout the movie, the demons will like grab and like when they're trying to capture everyone, just like touch someone, and they're not being transmitted. So it's very specific.
Yeah, they're very hypersexual demons.
Well, yeah, which is fair because I think that's how demons are supposed to be, right? Like demons are hypersexual
Yeah, for
beings,
sure.
like werewolves.
Oh my god, werewolves, yeah. Ginger snaps.
Any good werewolf movie has the werewolves super horny.
The Howling?
The Howling.
Yeah.
The first Howling. The second Howling.
I get the
can't wait to talk
feeling we
about.
have different taste in werewolf movies.
So Dex and Lily, now that they're out of the room, they start to make out on the bed.
Well, first off, like, we aren't super aware that they can do this through having sex. Like, we're just learning this. But the demon, you can kind of see, like, he's coming to see, and she is like, I'm not trying to be jealous. I know we're not together. And then she just gets on the bed and is like, but you want to have sex with me now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He slowly approaches her, pulls her down to the bed, and I think the scene actually cuts at this
It does.
point, right?
We're not there yet. So we cut back to the rest of the group. Angela and Jason and Suzanne keep drinking, but Colin and Maddie go to look for a new gate. I was a little confused here. This is where the movie takes some points now, because like I thought they looked for all the gates. So like, why are they looking again for the gate?
Maybe a big property. And
Yeah,
they didn't
I
check
guess.
back part.
So what I got from that was that they went to the original gate, but they haven't like gone around the entire property. So they're just like, well, let's circle it a couple times, see if we miss anything.
That makes sense. So now though, Angela then sits in between Jason and Suzanne.
And she starts licking the bottle, right? Her
Yeah.
bottle of
So
alcohol.
this is-
This is my favorite scene of the movie.
Yeah. Oh no.
I think this is so funny.
It's incredible. Angela's sitting in between Suzanne and Jason. She starts licking the bottle, and then she looks at Jason and literally starts deep throating this bottle of wine, which passion bump.
Oh,
between
I
her
would
and the
totally give
bottle.
that a passion bump.
The person who doesn't find this passionate, though, is Jason, who's like, I'm going to go look for that gate, and leaves.
Suzanne is literally in the background, like watching everything, like sitting right next to Angela, and her mouth is so wide. Like she like cannot believe that Angela A did that, and B, how hard she was rejected. And
Yeah.
I like, just for the fact that Suzanne was there and made that face and was literally laughing at Angela, and then like Angela turns to her and she's like, oh nope, I didn't see anything, don't worry about this. I fell to the floor laughing. I was dying. I was like, that is me in every situation where someone next to me is rejected. I am here for it. Yes, Suzanne.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny. I give Shannon Elizabeth a lot of credit. She has done some weird things, like in her in movies.
I'd love to have a conversation with her at some point.
She just seems so awesome.
She looks like she's having so much fun on set.
Yeah. She just does these like kind of low end movies, but she's always so funny in them. Like she's great.
Yeah. You know what's also great? The next scene where Dex is absolutely plowing Lily on the bed.
Yeah. So this is my fourth passion bump of the movie, because he's just like railing her from behind, but he's like starting to turn into a demon mid-sex.
He has a changing eye color. He starts growing these sharp demon teeth. He decides anal is appropriate.
Yeah. She's about to say, if you're gonna put it in there, demon comes out of her. And that's the passion bump.
Oh, he like tears her
demon
a new one,
transformation.
literally.
Yeah. Then he throws up worms on her back.
A lot of worms and snakes binds in this movie.
Yeah, all right. So to be as explicit as possible, he literally fucks her into a demon and makes tentacles shoot out of her tits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the movie we're watching right now.
I think when he gives her the anal, when he puts it in, she like screeches. And the screech is heard outside by Maddie, Jason, and Colin, who are still looking for that gate.
Yeah. What a scene. What a passion
It's
bump.
so funny because outside, they're like, you heard that? You heard that? Jason's like, I think it came from the bushes. Colin's like, where did it come from? Maddie's like, I think it came from the house. Colin's like, no, it was the stereo.
Incredible. So now we cut to our fifth passion bump of the movie, our second to last. And we cut to Angela dancing with Suzanne. They're like swaying together slowly. I think Angela goes in to kiss her, and Suzanne says to stop.
Yeah, this is a hot scene because it's slow and it's
It's building this like sexual tension.
it's intimate.
Yeah. It's so intimate. They are actually floating.
That's true. They're levitating. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. It loses its intimacy pretty quickly, though, because as Suzanne realizes they're floating, freaks out.
She's not sure though. She thinks she's drunk and she's just getting woozy and feeling things. Like, I don't think she's actually aware that they're floating.
Yes. But she does become aware when Angela turns into a demon, rips off her bowling balls, and then bites her face off.
She rips off her shirt, tears into that beautiful, beautiful breast, and bites off her face and spits it on the ground.
And then she's just literally faceless the rest of the movie.
True.
Yeah, continuity for you.
Somehow her boobs grow back a little bit, but for
Well,
the
now she has
most
demon.
part,
And those demon boobs are strong.
Yeah.
yeah, they
hold
literally
the
don't move.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you, Brian, right now. Her regular boobs or her demon boobs?
The demon boobs.
Okay.
Because like Jen said, they stay in place.
Nice. Okay.
They're probably not soft though.
You think they're harder boobs?
Probably cold. Not into it.
You're right. Maybe aged.
like a fine
What
wine.
if you just touch them and they're like raisins because she's dead now?
You're right.
And it's not great.
Yeah, they might feel like a bag of sand.
Sandy boobs are always a problem.
All
Yeah,
right.
when they fall apart.
Yeah. Let's cut back to Maddie and Colin. Jason, they can't find a new gate.
Yeah.
There just is no new gate.
No, there's not. And Jason's funny. He's one of my favorite lines of the movie. He goes, "Am I out of my mind for saying no to having sex with Angela?" And just walking away. He's like beating himself up about it after the fact.
I mean, to his credit, he made the right choice.
Oh, for sure.
So now Jason goes to pee. And this is my favorite sequence of events. This isn't a passion bump. This is just amazing. He goes to pee.
Definitely not a passion bump.
No, it's not. I just love the scene, though. And he sees Lily just, like, sitting there. He asks her if she wants help with anything. And she's like, "Can you fix my whiskers for me?" He's going to put it on with, I guess, whatever he had. But she gives him the lipstick.
Yeah.
And now, Brian, I'm going to give you the honors of describing what happens next.
This is my favorite scene in the movie, too. So as he goes to put on the makeup and, I guess, readjust her whiskers, she grabs his hand and she says, "Not there, silly." She pulls down her shirt, revealing her breasts. Jason's like, "Well, what about Dex?" But in her current state, she doesn't really care much about Dex.
Well, they're both demons now, so.
So what she does is, and I would expect this totally from Lily at this point, it's total Lily move. She puts the lipstick through her nipple and pulls it out of her pussy as blood starts to pour, torrential pour out to the floor from her vagina.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood in the scene.
It's flooding the bathroom floor, Shane.
Yeah.
FEMA must be called in at this point.
Yeah, this is Hurricane Katrina 2 for New Orleans.
So gross.
Jason goes back to Maddie and Colin, and this is continuing why I love this scene. He's like, "So, guys, does Lily, like, sideline as a magician? Like, is that, like..."
Sleight of hand stuff?
Yeah.
Like, what's she into?
He's kind of, like, avoiding to say exactly what happened, and he literally says the quote, "She stuck a lipstick in her nipple and pulled it out of her pussy."
It's so funny. I was like, he's so much like difficulty because he doesn't want to because he knows the whole situation with Dex. So
Yeah.
He doesn't want to like overstep his bounds, but the situation is so awkward. He doesn't know what to say, but he wants to tell the truth
Yeah.
because he's concerned for her, I guess.
It's not every day you can fit a lipstick in your nipple.
No.
But one of my favorite facts about this scene is his name is Jason, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the actor's name is John F. Beach, I think.
Mhm.
This was his audition scene for the character.
Wow.
Not the actual lipstick scene, the scene where he comes out of the bathroom to tell Maddie and Colin what he just saw. That was his audition scene for this character.
Yeah, he does kill that scene because that is so funny.
It's hilarious.
So yeah, there's no reason why he would not get the role after that because he delivers that. It's hilarious.
From that, they go to the bathroom, right, to check on Lily.
Yeah.
But she's not there anymore.
Nope, and neither is the blood.
No, but Demon Susie comes out and she attacks them, right?
Yeah, she attacks Maddie. I think she brings her to the ground, and then Maddie grabs like a candlestick, right, that's nearby, and just rocks her in the head with it, knocking her away.
She's like running through the hallways like a dog. And they're like, what the hell is that? And then she attacks Maddie, and we see that she no longer has a face.
No, she
Yeah.
doesn't. Demonic Suzanne then jumps on a table, and I think Jason grabs a fireplace poker and
Stabs her.
shoves it right through her gut, and then
Mhm.
they run away.
They start running, and that's when they run into Demon Angela. They just keep running, and I think this is where they make their way to the basement, right?
Yeah, because they realize that, Colin mentions, like, Angela told me these tunnels are built underneath from Prohibition time.
Yeah, she mentions earlier when they were down in the basement when they originally found the bodies that Angela said that there are tunnels in that basement that also go to the next house over from Prohibition time.
Colin is just being a downer. He's like, "Oh, shit, man, what's going on?" And I think Maddie's like, "You're making a lot of noise. Like, shut the fuck up." Jason finds a shotgun.
Is it a pump action?
I think it is.
Yeah. He has no idea how this thing works, by the way.
No.
And he asks them, and Jason says to Colin, like, "You're a drug dealer. Aren't you supposed to know how to use this?"
It's a fair scenario. Like, I wouldn't know how to use a shotgun if I just found one.
But Jason has paintball experience.
Yes.
So he'll take the gun.
This is when they go and they hide in the skeleton room, and they realize that 4 of the skeletons are now missing.
And Jason is too busy arguing with Colin that he led him to a closet without tunnels. No tunnels here. It's just the skeleton room. Yeah, and I love the verbiage too, because like it's Colin. He's like, it's not a closet. It's a pantry.
Yeah. I love this. Colin and Jason are arguing back and forth. And then Maddie realizes they're standing on the trap door. And she's like, fucking look down.
They're going to go down the trap door, and the corridor is pitch black. Even with the lights they use, they can't see anything in front of them. And they eventually reach a dead end, and appears after turning around, like they see like a vine near the ground, and it grabs hold of Jason's leg.
Yeah, they all start to get attacked by vines, and as the vines are wrapping them up, they see the demons on the ceiling, like kind of like coming towards them.
Yeah.
I will say this is where Maddie's acting just goes out the window.
That's very fair to say. It definitely does. It kind of trails as this movie goes on.
I've noticed that. Bad in the beginning of the movie, but for some reason, as like her character is supposed to get more worried and more concerned, I'm just like, what is this Hallmark acting you are now bringing to the table?
I think a lot of her acting, and I'm going to stand up for her, is her just being tired of Colin's shit.
Well, dude, all he does is complain the entire movie.
Yeah, and I think her as an actress just got tired of that character and having to interact with it for the rest of the movie, that she's like, fuck this, I give up.
Sure. So at this point, Jason's going to grab a very, very convenient saw and starts cutting through all these damn vines. Maddie breaks through the vines, and eventually so does Jason. He shoots, puts a hole through a demon's head, and it recovers almost like instantaneously.
Yeah, they have regen powers.
And then the demon it jumps down, charges at Jason, but Colin rocks it, knocks it down with a metal bar.
Yes, and you see it kind of like burns it.
Yeah, you'll find out why soon enough.
Yeah, they go back up through the trap door, and the demons are trying to get up through the door, but Maddie is trying to like lock the door so they can't get back up.
And then Jason's like, well, actually, I think now that they're affected by rust, the rust on the bar burned their skin.
Yeah, it made it sizzle. And they established, little do you know, bullets do not affect me. So they have to just use rust now. The gun is useless. Then Lily gets to them, because I guess she wasn't downstairs. And how do you want to describe what this is?
Demon Lily's got some special powers.
Is she green yet?
Yes.
I will refer to her from this point on as Demon Poison Ivy.
Okay. Because she uses her tit vines to...
I like that.
They're actually snakes.
Are they?
I looked closer in the first like couple scenes, like they do look like vines, but in like the closer scenes, like more towards the end, they really do look like snakes. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, go to our Instagram, correct me in the comments, but towards the end, I think they're snakes.
I'm going to call them tit vine snake tentacles.
Love it.
And they're going to get wrapped around Jason's neck?
Yes, because he goes to chop it off, but he swings too hard and saws his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically like puts a gash in his own leg.
In order to free Jason, Colin has to hit the demon, pushing it to the ground, and then he's kind of freed up from the vines. I actually think, do they retract?
Yes, they do. They retract into her body, like she's Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
They run from the demon back up from the basement into an upstairs bedroom that they lock, and they place a desk to hold the door behind them. And Maddie has to tend to Jason's wounds, I guess, from the saw.
Yeah.
Applying pressure to it. Colin discovers a hole in the wall with strange writings, and they all start to like rip off reveal the next text, the spells on the wall.
And that's when they realize, like, this is like that, I guess, the room.
Room.
Yes, the maid's room. That's what I was looking for. So they feel like they might be safe in this room.
As we know, as the viewer, from the flashback and from the story, the old maid was writing these spells. These are from her. They thought she was going mad, but it's kind of like a protection spell.
And this is where like Maddie just like is going around the room and is like basically reading it from the maid's perspective as everything that happened. And we go back to like where Suzanne was talking about how everyone came over for the party, but the demons that had contacted Evangeline were just sinister and promised her that if she invited them all over for a seance, they would make him fall in love with her. But they really just wanted to use their bodies, kind of like the demons are doing tonight, just possessing everyone's bodies. So apparently after the seance started, the demons immediately took over. I'm going to say, I think the first person was the guy that Evangeline wanted to love her. And then he just starts biting everyone. And from then on, it's just mass chaos. And the only way that they can all be freed is if they get 7 bodies, which is why Evangeline ultimately hangs herself.
So I just want to continue what your point here. They also have to finish it by the end of Halloween night. That is like one thing that is established.
Because that is the night that it happened.
It happened, exactly. It's mentioned that these are demons of like love, death, and chaos, and they're trying to turn our world into that.
I like your description of the demons. They're treacherous tricksters, imps of the perverse. They delight in deception and revel in lies, spreading depravity.
With everything I said, Brian said, and Jen said, all of that was said by Maddie. And I love this movie. I need to know.
Please explain to me.
How the fuck did she become a fucking demonology expert out of nowhere?
She was the one that would know the least along with Lily because Suzanne has the history from Angela. She would know bare bone material about demonology.
Like, she literally knows every single thing there is to know about these demons, and I just want to know why.
She puts two and two together really quick that they're made up of molecules, so this is why rust and certain metals affect them. It was like, wow, how specific was this made?
This is a character controversy. Like it really does not make any sense.
Yeah, all right. Like I said, I love this movie, but I'll say this scene, like, how does she know all this?
It's a fair take. It's a fair take.
But let's cut now to my final passion bump of this movie. We cut to a demon orgy.
Passion bump! Passion bump! Passion bump! My G.
There's no other words. It's literally just a demon orgy.
Yeah, it is. And the whole scene is like done in this green color. It's like a green demon orgy.
Yeah.
There was one fact here that they said online that, you know how Suzanne is just like a skull now?
Yes.
So in this scene, her face is like kissing. Her face stretches for like the whole kissing scenes and everything they're doing in the scene. And because her face is just bones aren't supposed to stretch. A lot of the facts in the movie in general were very much that in certain scenes you can see, they ripped part of their clothing. Like when they jump through the tunnel, Maddie's tights rip. And then when they get out of the hole, her tights are fine. In this scene, they said, her face is bones. It's not supposed to be stretching. And it is stretching, and you can tell that it's rubber.
I have heard, though, as the resident demon expert of this group, that demon bones are actually more rubbery than regular bones. Gets that stretch. They kind of like have bones of a cat.
Fair enough.
I will take your word for it. But
Thank you.
I don't believe you.
So this demon orgy is just polluted with worms. I believe Angela sucks horns.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she's a horn sucker.
I couldn't tell if it was a horn or a dick, to be honest.
I don't think they would have did that, so I'm going to say it's a horn.
She's a real horn sucker, and the whole scene is very green, very passionate, and I totally agree with the passion bump here.
Thank you. So now we go back to Maddie going into the bathroom. She sees that the barricade is moving and that the door swings open. Somehow Jason and Colin have passed out, which I don't think I would be able to sleep during all of this going on.
Absolutely not.
She passed out too.
That's true, because she woke up and then went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even have a lookout. That's a problem.
So no one enters the rooms, but she has to go check out why the door opens, and she creeps on over there, and she sees Angela, and she realizes Angela cannot enter the room because the spells on the wall keep her out.
Yeah.
Because Angela says there are ways. There are always ways. And she quickly transforms into Demon Angela and then back to regular Angela because she can do that shit, dude.
She also says, and she's referring to, what's his name, Jason, in the surgeon costume. She's referring to Jason and she's like, you have feelings for him, don't you?
Oh, no, they're talking about Colin.
Yeah,
they're talking
about Colin, yeah.
The drug dealer.
Okay, so they show Jason's face, though.
I don't remember that. I do know she's referring to Colin, though, in this scene.
See, that makes more sense, but when I was watching it last night, it showed, and I could be wrong, but I thought it showed Jason's face, and I was like, what?
I remember, like, he's making noises. Is he, like, maybe, like, starting to wake up, but he's not, like, really, he's kind of just making noises, so you think maybe they just flash to his face?
Yeah, I think it was just that. They were hinting that he might wake up, but doesn't. Yeah. I still think Angela's referring to Colin, though, in this scene. So.
Then I would like to rewrite that they put the camera on Colin instead of Jason, because that was an extremely confusing scene, and I was like, okay, when did that happen? I haven't sensed any chemistry between the three of those characters whatsoever, even though they've already referenced that two of them had previously dated. I didn't sense any chemistry at all.
There's a lot between Colin and Maddie.
Liar.
Angela says, you know, I have a thing for him too. I'm going to poke his eyes out and fuck his brains out until they're spilling out of his ears. Right before he takes his last gasp, right before he becomes one of us, he shall know the place where ecstasy and suffering become one.
Yeah, I kind of like that she turns into Pinhead from Hellraiser in that scene. Because that's exactly something he would say.
Yeah. And then Maddie's like, shut up, bitch, and slams the door in her face. quite a character development, as Jen said, because she was not the same girl in the beginning.
She's been through a lot.
I guess at this party.
Sure. Why not?
Right from there, the walls start to bleed, and it starts ruining the spells that are written on the wall.
Yeah, I'd like to say that the guys actually do wake up at this point. So they're all kind of seeing this happen.
Then hands start to burst through the wall, and they realize, like, oh shit, the spells they're going to be gone if we don't do something.
So the goal now is to find something to write on to rewrite the spells on the walls as the blood's covering it. Problem is they kind of stumbled to look for something. I think they find charcoal.
They find charcoal in the fireplace, and then they start writing the spells back onto the wall.
And there's like a couple of shots in here where you see kind of like an outline of the whole entire room. And there's like over 20 different arms that break through the fucking wall. And I don't understand. Maybe you can
please explain to me.
Because if they're creating all these holes, those holes are going to be covering up spells. And if they're trying to rewrite the spells on the wall, you can do some, but you're not going to be able to do all of the ones that they've broken up through the holes. So they're just trying to say the holes never covered up. That is a load of hot shit.
See, what they're doing is those hands are not actually going through the walls. It's more of the illusion. It's like a trick. So as long as they're getting the spells back on from the blood, they're good. Because if you realize, once the spells are back on the wall, there's no holes in the wall from the hands. So the hands were never actually there.
But they also only write on one wall.
No, I thought they wrote on multiple walls. Isn't there a pan shot where they're each doing a wall?
In any case, how do they even know what the fuck they're writing?
Well, as Maddie being the demon expert now, she knows all the spells. She's been studying it since she was in college. I can't vouch for Colin or Jason, but I'm sure Maddie knows enough to get it through to them.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, the demons that were punching through the walls, all their arms, they start retracting as they successfully write the spells back onto the walls. Daylight comes through the window almost immediately after this happens. The group believes the demons are now officially gone and that Halloween is over and they're free.
Oh, I called that immediately. After Angela left the room, or Maddie was like, shut up, bitch. And she just shuts the door on her right after she was like, we can find ways. There's always loopholes. I was like, okay, they're just going to make the outside look like it's light through the windows. Duh. Yeah. As they're doing that, I will say, when they go back and forth between windows, one of the windows on one side of the bed looks like it's full sunlight. It's already daytime. And the window behind them looks like it's nighttime. And I was like, I don't know if that was purposeful, but it's there.
I'm going to say the three are just not observant and missed that the one window was dark. And it was done on purpose to show how dumb these characters are.
Fair enough.
Okay. At least you can admit that.
Yeah. Colin peeks through the door to see if any of the demons are there. He doesn't see anything, so they leave the room. They go downstairs.
He does grab a pipe.
He does grab a pipe.
And I think it's interesting because, we mentioned how the rust affects them. And why is this a thing? But I think they do explain that the rust is an ancient element.
Yeah.
And because it's an ancient element.
Well, yeah, Maddie explains that because she knows everything.
Yeah.
She's our resident demon expert.
But when they get downstairs, Colin, he feels something is off. So he breaks the window, and that's when they realize it's still night outside.
It's still night outside, and shit's about to get nuts.
Yeah, because now they get attacked by the demons.
I think he realizes it's still night outside when he hears a bird chirp, and he's like, I've never heard that in these parts. It can't possibly be that happy. And he just breaks the window.
Yeah, he chucks the beer bottle, right? And then I think the clocks start all going back.
Yeah, they all go back to what time it actually is.
And as soon as they turn around, every single demon is behind them.
And sadly for Jason, this is the end of his run as Angela rips him apart and starts eating his insides.
Eating his innards, just ripping them out of his body. It's a really grotesque scene. I also want to say that, do you hear the sound playing in the background? Because this is a Night of the Demons song. I think that's actually the Night of the Demons theme song.
Really?
Yeah, because they keep repeatedly saying Night of the Demons, Night of the Demons.
One thing we haven't mentioned, actually, is the soundtrack for this movie is pretty cool.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of
it's heavy metal.
Fast-paced heavy metal, demon songs.
I was telling Jen, some scenes it fits. I feel for some scenes it doesn't fit. Sometimes it's a slower scene, and they just play this really, roughshod music. Yeah. But
I think for the most part, though, it was a pretty good choices. I agree, there were a couple scenes where I was like, it kind of doesn't fit. But for the most part, I feel like the soundtrack could have been worse.
As they see Jason getting ripped up, Colin and Maddie make a break for it. They get back into the spell room. Is this where Colin is saying like, "Oh man, this sucks. My life is over."
He's like, dude, I'm screwed. If I don't get killed by the demons, Nigel's gonna blow my brains out. Fuck, dude, shit, man.
And Maddie's like, "Jason just died. Like, stop with the self-loathing bullshit."
He's like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. And Shane, I gotta ask you, as also not only are you the resident, is it demonology?
Yeah, we'll go demonology.
Demonology expert on this podcast, you're also a relationship guru.
Okay.
Because I know you've done several bouts of couples counseling. Do you have any takes? Can they get back together, you think?
I'm going to say they are the perfect couple. They fight a lot, but most of the times it's fights out of love.
Playful fighting.
Exactly. So they're, I would say, an A-plus couple.
Is it also benefited by the fact that he is an absolute dynamo in the bedroom?
Well, that helps, but he's also a stunning-looking human. So...
Stunning is a great word to use. Stunning is perfect.
I give him a C+.
I give him
That's
worse.
not fair.
I give him worse.
You guys are not being fair.
For
He
this
actually
movie,
is
he is a
terrible.
C+ because he also has no money.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Shit, man. He then notices that in the bathroom, there's a bathtub full of blood.
He then sticks the metal rod in there, and he starts giving it a good stir.
He does stir it like it's a cauldron, and it makes weird noises, but there's really nothing in there.
Can I just say this was one of the dumbest things like a character in this movie possibly could have ever done? Like, I've been battling demons all night. Oh my god. Oh, a tub of blood. I must mix it. Like, I was so confused. I was like, if he was really as upset and scared as he should be, it was like the first thing that you would do is not touch the tub of blood. But you know what? Knock yourself out.
I don't know. It's a tub of blood. I'm probably stirring it a little bit.
I wouldn't stir it. I would stab it.
I would grab a broom and I would stand outside the bathroom and then I would stir it.
Or
Just so
drain it.
I'm in the other bathroom.
I might just get in it. Do a little Elizabeth Bathory.
I need a fucking passion bump on Shane and the blood.
I want to say Elizabeth Bathory originally was drinking the blood. She originally drank the blood and was like, this isn't working for me. I need to bathe in it.
That's sick.
Yeah.
She
was sick. So a demon does jump out of this bathtub.
Yeah, the blood launches to almost the ceiling, and this guy just kind of springs out of the tub.
Yeah.
It's like an impromptu shower.
They do escape it. They get back in, and then they're like, oh, there's no spells in that room. No shit. They should have known that room wasn't protected.
Maddie asks if it bit him, and he says, I think he wanted to fuck me.
He does say that.
But here's the question. I was talking to Jen. Does he get bitten and they just override it? This is important for later. They don't show that he's bitten, but I have to almost think that he was.
Okay. When we get to the scene, we'll discuss it, because I have some ideas, but...
Yo, you have some questions. You don't have ideas.
I have some ideas and maybe some
I have
questions.
questions.
Shane's never had an idea.
That's not true. Okay, so when they get back into the other room, just randomly the floor breaks and Colin falls about 3 stories down into the basement.
Like, this guy couldn't be any more of a loser.
I'd like to
Or-
imagine that one of the demons just had like a fireplace pick or something and was just like right under the floorboards, just like slowly picking like, yes, almost there. We've almost got it. This is going to be a great bit.
It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon
Yeah.
where he's got the saw going underneath. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like the world's smallest saw. That's why it takes like literally like half that part of the movie to have him fall through the floor. But they're like, as soon as he steps on X marks the spot, this will be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even have to carve much. He's so large. He probably would have just fell through anyway.
Yeah.
And yet you gave him an A.
I gave the couple an A.
You specified him.
Well, he was stunning looking.
He is a C, my man.
Big facts. And he falls, right? And I'm like, all right, he falls. And then he falls through the next floor. And I'm like, okay, this guy's going to get hurt. And then he falls through the next floor.
Yeah. Lucky for him, he only breaks his leg.
He lands in the skeleton room.
Yeah,
right?
the skeleton room.
He not only breaks his leg, his femur is sticking out.
Yeah. So Maddie ties a rope. So this one I do actually. This is another scene that's kind of dumb because she ties the rope to herself and ropes down to him. But when she goes from floor to floor, the demons would be on those floors, right? Like, why couldn't they just grab her when she's on that floor, like vulnerable on the rope?
They fast track it. So she gets down there like really quick.
Yeah.
I think they try to like.
I thought that she was just going to go like outside the door and take all the stairs. And I was like, this is going to take forever.
That would have been long. So she does get to Colin, and his leg is really, really messed up. Maddie says she's going to set the leg back in place.
She's gonna splint it.
Yeah. She says she's going to do it on 3. So here we go. As soon as she sets his leg back into place, he turns into a demon. I'm going to say the pain was so unbearable, it killed him.
I think that's honestly, while that sounds ridiculous, I can't think of anything better.
That is actually my explanation for it.
And that's what I was thinking. Maybe he was bitten, and they just kind of like don't go into detail
I feel
on
like
that.
they can't do that, though.
Because you're right. As soon as he gets the splint and she cracks it back into place, he turns.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even. I'm like,
I
what
have
the
no
fuck
words.
ever.
I literally can't figure it out, and I'm thinking so hard. Did they hit like any? What's the? Not capillaries, not blood capillaries. It's the things in your neck and in like your legs.
Shane
like-
is the resident anatomy expert on this podcast. Shane, you want to take this one too, my man?
Are we talking about arteries?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, came through. Did like they hit an artery and like it just like killed him instantly? Like I'm extremely confused and I could not find anywhere anyone giving like an actual answer. And it's very much a loophole that they're like, oh, I guess he died. He's ours now.
Yeah, so you have Maddie, right? She comes to this party dressed as a half-assed zombie. From her character right on the onset, I'm thinking this is a college kid that's not going places. She becomes a doctor in about an instant with the splint. And now she becomes a karate expert because as he turns, she grabs a sharp, rusty object, stabs him in the head, and then roundhouse kicks him in the head to run away.
She's a do-it-all. I mean, she's a keeper. She's a doctor. She knows about demons. She could fend for herself with karate. Like, she's everything you want in a girl.
I literally thought she was like a nursing student or something because she like knew how to treat Jason's leg and then instantly knew what to do in place of a femur that popped out of someone's. I was like, okay, are you a doctor? Are you training? You might be.
I think we have to go on that premise, but I don't think they explain it.
Now, to be fair, none of these characters really have backstories other than relationships.
None do. You're right.
And you don't
none
need
do.
it for this movie, though. I feel like it'd be unnecessary.
You don't know who the protagonist is. Now you know, obviously, who the final girl is, but
Yeah.
there's no protagonist. It's mayhem. And
And it's great.
really, I guess they don't really try to cover the characters. They're trying to make it humorous.
Yeah,
and
it's a fun Halloween romp.
I guess
Yeah,
that's the
there's-
best way to describe it.
At this point, even though we have like our final girl, there's no character development whatsoever. So maybe that's why like I wasn't thrilled because I wasn't attached to any of the characters because the whole point of this movie seems to be about like people being basic, trying to have fun, and the demons are like, but we want to have fun too. Let us join. And they're like, no, that requires you killing us and taking our bodies and abusing the hell out of them. And we don't really like to have sex like this, but I guess we're gonna do it anyway because you're making us.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is literally just about tits, blood, and a good time.
Yeah,
And it delivers on all of it.
good time in New Orleans, where that's the only place you can have a good time.
It's true. It's true. I've
I
never been
would
there.
tour
though,
that
so.
house though if that was a real house. It's huge.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So after Maddie roundhouse kicks Demon, she does make her way back to the spell room. Now, I actually don't know this because I'm not a gun guy. Can you put nails into a shotgun shell and have the gun fire?
I'm going to say no. I mean, I'm not a gun guy either. I know nothing about guns, so I definitely don't want to speak on a subject I have
Yeah.
no clue about. I would have to say this is the dumbest, most idiotic thing, and I can't seem to think it would work. And please flame me if I'm wrong here, but I just do not think this would work. I feel like this would be a miserable fail, and if anything, it would probably jam up the gun, which
Yeah.
it kind of does at some point in this movie, but still.
But if it is real, she's a genius once again. Because she might be a gun expert.
She's picking up trades. Like you said, she became a doctor, she became a karate expert, and now she's just an absolute marksman.
Yeah, because she puts, like we said, nails into the shotgun shells, and she just starts blowing away demons left and right.
There's a lot of blowing in this movie, but this is the real violent blowing because
Yeah.
she's popping demons.
And Poison Ivy's coming out, and she's just like trying to get a hold of her, but those vine snakes ain't doing the trick.
No. With all this going on, Maddie, she makes her way to the balcony, just like Evangeline Broussard. She like starts to hang the rope around her neck, and she sadly jumps off the balcony and hangs herself.
Right in the nick of time, apparently, because morning is right there. It's like hocus pocus all over again, where, you know, morning's just like perfect timing.
It's a cool sequence of events, though, I'll be honest, because they kind of show her doing it, and they also show scenes of Evangeline doing it 85 years prior.
Yeah.
And the similarities are very uncanny.
Yeah, Maddie had a little more luck because her head didn't fall off when she hung herself. But yeah, so she hangs herself, the sun comes up, The demons melt and then return to be skeletons in the basement. And then you realize that Maddie is smarter than you think.
She's crafty.
Because not only is she a doctor, not only is she a demonology expert, not only is she a gun girl, she also knows her way around a rope. So she tied the rope actually around her waist. So she didn't hang herself from her neck. She hung herself from her waist.
The rope around the waist is actually going to support the fact that she also put it around her neck.
Exactly.
She does not snap her neck upon her being hanged.
Exactly. She just takes those ropes off. She gets up and says, man, demons are stupid.
And walks away as if nothing happened to her.
Yep.
But she doesn't have a scratch around her neck.
Nope. She is covered in blood. She walks past these equipment guys. What do they say? It's like the sound system in there still?
Yeah, they're here to pick up the sound equipment. And that's what they're asking for. And she's like, yeah, go right in.
And the movie ends.
I want to do an add-on, not a rewrite. I would like to do an add-on.
Okay.
Where I'm assuming the other 6 characters are dead. I'm not positive because sometimes at the end of demon movies, like they go back to normal, like, oh, that was one hell of a night. But I'm going to assume that they're dead.
They have to be dead,
They're
actually, because 85 years ago, they never found the bodies of the original
True.
set. Yeah.
So they're dead. And the demons have come out of their body. Like we saw this in the end. The demons came out, went back to the basement, waiting for someone else to come. My add-on is the people there to pick up all the sound equipment, call the police when they find the dead bodies. The police go find Maddie as the survivor of the night, and she is arrested on 6 counts of homicide.
And she'd have very difficult time explaining it.
Yeah, seriously.
I actually think she could talk her way out of it.
You're right, because now she could be like an invert interrogation expert. She could be her own lawyer.
I actually think she works for the CIA.
She'll be her own lawyer. She'll defend herself.
Well, I guess that worked. It worked out for Ted Bundy, so.
There you go. And after this movie, I actually had to watch until after the credits. Not like I did it intentionally. I just let them roll and was like doing something else. And then the last scene, there actually is a scene after. And I was explaining it's Nigel in his club. He's still getting the same blowjob from the same girl. And she asks the same question. She asks if he's done. And he says, not yet. And then the movie ends.
Are we to assume he got a blowjob the entire night?
Yes.
Impressive.
She's a
Very
champ.
And that's Night of the Demons, the remake. I've seen the original. It is much better, but I'd love to hear Shane's thoughts. I think, Shane, you should spearhead this one. What are you giving it?
Okay. I'm not even going to hide anything. I'm giving this movie a 7 out of 10.
You're out of your fucking mind.
This movie has pretty much everything you want in a movie.
You mean everything you want. Please don't speak for me.
No. This movie, from honestly start to finish, and I'm not even joking, is so fun to watch. The characters are funny. Yeah, they're stupid, but they're funny. You get a good laugh from some of these scenes. The gore's pretty cool. They have a lot of it. The demons look awesome. There's plenty of other features in this movie that are great to look at. It's fun.
Like bowling balls?
Exactly. It's just from top to bottom. I had so much fun. Like, I was laughing, and it's fun to just like poke fun at things. And at the end of the day, like I said, you want to enjoy what you're watching. And I did.
That's fair. I'll go next, Jen. I concur with your sentiments on fun, because it is a fun, entertaining movie. However, I don't solely grade on entertainment. I grade on quality of film, including characters, which there is zero development. And actually, there's just certain things that just don't make sense. Like Maddie's character is just an absolute shit show. Colin is the most annoying character, and his story goes absolutely nowhere. He's a fucking loser that just gets worse and worse and worse until he just falls down, capping off his terrible existence. So there's just certain things that just don't make sense. Like Colin's turn to a demon is a mystery. Everything is kind of rushed in a way. And while I did enjoy it, and I will always give an extra nod to passion, and there's a ton of passion in this movie, I'm giving this movie a 5 out of 10. The dialogue is shit. The story, for some reason, I just can't get around. I guess you made a good point, Jen, about the 7, so that gives it a little context, and that makes a little bit of sense. Because I'm like, wow, it would make no sense if 7. Why 7? Why couldn't it be like 15? Why couldn't it be 2? I do like movies that also have like a little bit of like flashbacking, and they did a cool job like mixing the current timeline with the past. But still, the story did not grip me. The characters were terrible. The dialogue was worse. The characters are hot, and there's a lot of passion in it. So that's why I'm giving it a 5 versus what should have been probably a 3 or a 4.
before we get to Jen, I do agree with some of your points, like that Colin was terrible. Like his character was awful. And I do grade movies on how you say, like, you need character development, you need stuff. But I feel like this movie wasn't a movie that was even trying to do that, which is why I'm kind of grading it a little different. Because I'm thinking of other movies I've graded now in the past, like Truth or Dare, I gave a lower rating. It was a train wreck, but it was still funny. I don't think it was as good as this one or something like that, which is the only reason I'm giving it a higher rating.
What I will say is I was very impressed by the camera work. I thought the camera shots were really cool and effects of the movie. Like, I think the costume design, the demons look really cool.
Oh, yeah.
The way their faces look, the makeup was awesome. I like the effects of like the worms, and it's like really old school, the snake tit vine that we keep talking about. Because I think there's one part where they go all the way out and then someone will burn it with rust.
And they shoot back in.
And they shoot back in.
That was the end when Maddie was fighting.
Exactly. When Maddie is fighting, they shoot back into her tits where all the demons get their milk. So there's a lot of cool scenes like that. And that's why I kind of respect to some degree. But overall, 5 out of 10 for this guy.
Okay.
Did you think that they were wearing contacts, the demons?
Yeah, they had to because they had the yellow
Different
eyes.
color eyes, yeah.
So none of them are wearing contacts. All the eyes are animated.
Interesting.
That's cool.
I guess maybe just make them look more vibrant because contacts sometimes aren't as vibrant unless they're way out there. I'm actually going to be kind of in the exact same ballpark as Brian. I was going to give this movie a 5. I don't really mind the characters as much. I actually noticed, just as like from watching indie movies growing up, I actually really liked the cinematography. I was surprised. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. All the little nods to the original, I appreciate so much. I love when people nod back to the originals in any remake because it rarely happens. Usually people do remakes and it doesn't really nod back and give the original credit. So I love that it did that. The majority was okay. I thought the acting was subpar from our final girl. I didn't enjoy her acting. I thought for some reason the more worried she got, it sounded so ingenuine. And I was like, I'm just like kind of irritated with it because it, like, when like someone talks to a dog, like they're worried for it. That's kind of what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
And I was really annoyed because I didn't know how Colin turned into a demon. That like really didn't sit for me. It really bugged me actually because I was like, there were very clear rules how to become a demon. And if like he fell and landed on something that went like through his body, just something stabbed him, like
if he was impaled.
Yeah, if he was impaled, that would have made more sense because it's like, oh, he died, obviously. Then that makes more sense. So I was really irritated with that. And I was really bordering 5 or 6. And just for like those couple things, I will give it a 5. If like Shane ever wanted to rewatch that, I probably would, but I wouldn't go out of my way to rewatch it. But I do like all the little clever nuances that they have with like the number 7 and anything else. I do appreciate things like that through the movie, but the whole like not understanding how Colin turned into a demon upset me.
I have a rewrite here, and I think I figured it out for everybody.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
There's a gap in time where you don't see what happens when Colin is in the bathroom to when he walks out, right? Because, when he comes out and he's like, I think he wanted to fuck me. You don't actually see what happens in the bathroom. He just walks out.
Yeah. What if he was kissed?
I'm going to rewrite and say that he had a vigorous sex scene with the man demon.
And he didn't want to admit it to Maddie.
Exactly. I'm going to say he got pulverized by this demon, so much so that his hand was so far up his ass that he actually turned upon this point and was a demon when he explained that prior to him falling through, he was a demon the entire time.
But
So
I mean, he
it was
would
all
have had
a
to fall through because he's a demon and he can't be in that room anymore.
And that's why
Yes.
he fell through. Oh, but you're not protected in the bathroom, but you are protected in that room.
Yes. So
But how would that work, though? Because you wouldn't be able to go in that room.
Yeah, that's the point.
But it was almost as soon as he went in the next room, he fell through.
Yeah.
So what if it was all a ploy?
How does the guy get in the bathtub? Because I feel like that room is completely closed off. You have to go through that room to get in the bathtub.
Maybe they could teleport?
I mean,
Going
they
through
could
walls.
probably go through the floor, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Suzanne's running around like a dog, phasing through everything. So,
Did you just kiss me?
Yeah.
should I leave?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's just too much passion
This
in
movie
this
is
movie.
so passionate. I think
I
that's
gotta
a
give
wrap.
this. I gotta give this a passion bump. Wait, no, we have a new segment.
You're right.
We do. We have to choose who to add to our Necronomicon.
Yes. So we finally decided to use the Necronomicon each episode where we're going to write a name of a character into our Book of the Dead. And I kind of want to change it up.
No.
Let's vote. Let's vote.
Yeah, let's have a vote. I'll let you guys go first.
Oh, Shane, what are you doing? It's got to be Colin. He's the biggest fucking loser in the movie, and he dies in the worst way.
I want to hear both of you tell me yours.
It's Colin.
Okay, I respect that, and I agreed with you. But we've talked about so much passion, and this is the first ever entry into our Book of the Dead, into our Necronomicon. Susie's tits. They get ripped off.
They get ripped. They're a part of Susie. You're going to make them their own entity, like they have a pulsing heartbeat?
Yes.
I reject that statement, but I will put in as an add-on.
Fair. I like it.
What do you think, John?
I was actually going back and forth between Colin and Angela. I really liked Angela, and I was like, she was so into them when they were just dead on the ground. Like, I thought she was going to pick one up and dance with it.
You know, but what I would say about Angela is her turn was like more, I would say, she got bitten, and then she just eventually turned. There was not like any like climactic point.
Yeah. If we're going to put Suzanne's bowling balls in as an add-on, I'm 100% in to put Edward Furlong as our first person.
Fair enough.
Perfect for me.
That's my vote. I don't mean, we don't have to go with it, but that's just what I...
No, let's do it.
So, Colin, you are therefore added to the Necronomicon with an add-on of Suzanne's tits. You may choose one, left or right. You don't get both. Take your pick. Moving on. You don't get to say anything.
Yep, and I'm getting the other one. So with that said, that's a wrap.
This was our second episode of Spooky Season, and I think it was a banger.
I think so too.
Thank you, Jen, for now being on every week with us. It's going to be a blast, I know it.
I'm excited.
It's going to be stellar.
Whoop,
We shoot
go.
for stellar.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do, Shaney.
So with that said, next week is a good one. Next week, we will be reviewing Trick or Treat.
It is one of my least favorite movies. Big Psych.
Yeah, legitimately, I think we're all going to agree on is a great movie.
Yeah, I think so.
I loved watching it. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yes.
Me neither.
We are two guys, one Necronomicon, signing off, and we will see you next week on Halloween night. And if you haven't already, please follow us on Facebook at 2guys1necronomicon. Also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 2guys1necro. Also, if you can, and if you listen to it on Apple Podcasts, please throw us a rating on there. 1 star, 5 star, whatever it is, just let us know your feedback. Thank you very much.